With the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Judy Holman. Here. April Wooden. Here. Dan Wilkins.
Here.
Cindy Harradine. Here. Carol Wilkins. Here.
Need a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion and support to approve tonight's agenda. All in favor say aye. Motion carries. And our deputy is here tonight. That's excellent. Thanks for making it.
You're welcome. I hope you're all doing well. I just have a brief synopsis of the stats from last month. 45 traffic stops were conducted in the township. 6 calls for follow-up for further continuous investigations in the township. There was 1 marine violation, 2 calls for subpoena or PPO services. There was 1 pursuit within the township last month, 2 property inspections, 1 vehicle inspection, 4 calls for public relations, 9 VOLs, 5 health and safeties, 1 call for loss of property, 1 non-violent family offense complaint, 1 civil dispute, 4 traffic hazards, 1 instance of traffic policing, 1 agency assist, 1 alarm, 2 frauds, 1 assault, 1 harassing communications complaint, 23 suspicious situations, 5 larcenies, 1 domestic assault, 4 911 hang-ups, 4 welfare checks, 1 disorderly, 1 breaking and entering, 2 instances of trespassing, 3 personal injury accidents, 2 property damage accidents, and there's 1 criminal sexual conduct that was taken in the township, but because as what that call was entered in as an initial call reflects as one of the other stats, and I don't have the ability to change that when dispatch runs my stats for me. I made 6 narcotic seizures in the township last month and seized 1 stolen firearm out of a vehicle that left 3 rivers that was stolen out of the city of Kalamazoo.
Yeah.
My biggest concerns in the township this time of year and getting until again when it becomes warm out, the larceny stats or the breaking and enterings are going to go up. There's a lot of residents out here that are not permanent residents of the township. So the lake neighborhoods and everything of that area are going to be of concern. I don't know if you guys have anything as far as a Facebook page or any community groups. My recommendation to anybody when I respond to a larceny or a breaking and entering of any residence or private building, it might be pricey up front for LED lights, but once you have them installed, it's little to nothing and they last for a long time. Obviously, this isn't the complete end to breaking and entering, but any well-lit area outside of a building, dwelling, or otherwise is a great deterrent. Surveillance cameras as well. Again, pricey up front, but worth the money at the end of the day there. And they don't always necessarily have to work either. If something looks like a camera that is recording someone, that's also a great deterrent. So I've seen the larcenies start to peak up in the couple months that I've been out here, and that's something that I'm going to focus on addressing before it becomes a continuing problem out here yet again, because I'm sure you've all heard the amounts of people that come in after the winter at the lake houses and see that their stuff has been rooted through. So. Do any of you have any questions for me?
Thank you.
Hey, you're very welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Dale, he just dropped off some maps and he left, so Dale's not here.
Oh, okay.
Douglas, do you have a report for us?
Oops. Good evening, everyone. So I've given you the zoning log for the year. You'll notice we're on page 3 now. So this year's been a very busy year for Fabius Township, and they're still coming in hot and heavy. I guess something mentioned the possibility of snow or something, and so everybody's flooding in their applications trying to get stuff done before the snow flies. So, other than that, I don't know that there's anything real exciting other than that going on. Randy, I think, has a report you have something for me, that's all I have for you.
You want to introduce Matt?
Pardon?
You want to introduce Matt?
Oh, I can, you want me to?
Yeah.
Sure.
So, this is Matt Jorgensen. This is what I looked at 15 years ago when I started with you down
I
here.
think maybe more than 15.
And now I went from looking like him to looking like Randy Old, so.
You wish.
So this is the person that you are projecting as my replacement. So far, every one of my jurisdictions, with the exception of one right now, are planning on putting him on board so that we can have consistency like you've been used to. I have transferred, or preparing to transfer all the files electronically over to him as well. And I will get you copies of electronic files, and I just brought a whole bunch of paper files this evening. Matt Cummins, he's been on the planning commission for 3 years. He's been the chairman of that planning commission since January of this year. He's very tech savvy with a computer. He's got a personality, unlike me. And so I think he will get
We have
along.
one, we just don't always like it.
Well, you may not like his, he's good. You know, I've told everybody that no matter who you hired to replace me, they're gonna make me look good, and that's nothing against Matt. It's just that I've been doing it for 17 years, and after 17 years, if I haven't made myself look good, you probably should have fired me 10 years ago. But I have full faith that Matt is gonna pick up real quickly. Matt's gonna do a fine job. Matt's obviously got my phone numbers, and those don't plan on changing. So I will certainly be available to him. I may not have my phone with me 24 hours a day, but I will certainly make myself available to Matt if he has questions or concerns or how things are being done. So I think he will get along well with you guys. Randy and Kathy should have no problem with him as well. So,
Welcome.
Welcome, Matt.
you want
Thanks for coming.
Covered it all.
I did break the news to him last week. We had a fairly contentious meeting, and I said, I hope I didn't chase you away. And he's like, no, I don't think that was bad at all. And I said, good. That's what I'm going to tell you. You're also getting a body camera and a bulletproof vest. So I still haven't chased him away, and I'm not trying to by any means, but I think he'll do very well.
You been on a search warrant yet?
No, I have not.
Don't let him open anything.
All right, thank you, Doug.
He did want, I told you, he did want to go to Park Township too, so.
Yep. We got a motion to approve the minutes for September 10th.
Make a motion to approve the minutes for September 10th.
So,
Motion and support to approve last month's minutes for September 10th. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Judy, you have a fire report for us?
Yeah, we really didn't have a whole lot, other than the survey of the property that we ordered has been completed. We don't have the written report yet, but that has been completed, and now we are absolutely positive about property lines. And that was it.
Okay, thank you. Randy, planning commission?
How's everyone this evening?
Good?
Good.
We didn't have a meeting last night. Some material that we needed for the public hearing for the EDP solar, some of that wasn't ready yet. Doug also needs a little more time to put together the reports, so we're probably looking at December right now for that public hearing.
Okay.
We probably will not also have a meeting in November. We don't have really anything else before us, and I'm not going to be available for the next meeting, so that one will probably be canceled also. And that's all I have for you.
Okay. Thank you, Randy. Kathy?
good evening, everyone. Hello.
Zoning Board of Appeals had no hearings last month, and I'm not aware of any coming up. Unless there's questions, that's all I have.
Okay.
Have we done
Thank
that?
you.
Have we done?
Amber told me she wasn't gonna be here tonight. Don? I think I saw Don here.
Yeah.
If you miss me, you better be driving.
Well, liquor inspections are done. What else is new?
That's about all I got. I got one pending, on County Line Road. Just to reiterate on some of the stuff that the deputy said, he was spot on about, motion lights and cameras. But to piggyback on that, if anybody sees any suspicious vehicles, the best thing you could do is try to get a license plate number. When you get a plate number, then you got something to report to the cops. So if you see a suspicious vehicle, write the number down, and if it's nothing, it's nothing, but it could be something. So that's all I got.
Very good, thank you, Don. Cindy?
Yeah, I don't have much. We're between summer and winter property taxes. Winter property taxes, I was at the county today for a meeting. They are going out on, I think the day before Thanksgiving, November 26th, maybe. So if you haven't received them by first week of December, because sometimes they do get lost in the mail, give me a call, I'll get you a copy. And that's all I have, so I move to approve disbursements of $32,177.71.
I'll second it.
Moving, or motion and support to approve this month's disbursements. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion carries. I guess we don't have any unfinished business. That, we probably could have done the zoning administration under unfinished, but this will work. So last month, you'll recall, we discussed making an offer to Matt Jorgensen to replace Doug as a zoning administrator, and we talked about what we would offer him. And so I did relay that to Matt shortly. It wasn't too long after the meeting, and Matt said no. Basically. So,
Welcome to Fabius Township.
No, really went. He pushed back, and I really respect him for that. You know, I like him even more for being able to stand up and say, no, I'm not quite happy with that, and this is what I need to have. So he came up with a formula that I didn't really care for so much because it was one wage until the first year and a different one after the first year. And when we talked about it last month, I kind of just got the feeling that you ladies wanted to pay him while we were paying Matt, or paying Doug.
Yeah.
So that was $478 a month and $35 an hour for billable hours. So that would just take care of it if we just do that.
I think that would be excellent.
Anybody have any other comments or concerns on that?
And that's acceptable to you?
Do you want a motion?
All right, yes, I need a motion for, to make him an offer of $478 a month and $35 an hour for billable hours.
I'll make a motion.
$478 a month, is that what I said?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for $478 a month and $35 an hour, billable hours.
I'll second.
All right, I have a motion and support to offer Matt $478 a month and $35 an hour for billable hours. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries.
Now, welcome.
Yeah.
And you can leave if you need to go to.
I got a few minutes. I do want to say, as a taxpayer, I appreciate the fact that you try to, I look forward to working with you guys, and as a taxpayer, not in Fabius, I live over in the village of Colon, but as a taxpayer, I appreciate seeing a board that is a good steward of the finances you get from your citizens. So I totally respect you bringing the offer to me, and I appreciate working with me on negotiations. So
Well, thank you for that.
Thanks, Matt. And he indicated he was gonna be starting on the 20th, right?
yes,
Yeah, October 20th will be his first day. We'll be working with Doug until the end of the year. All right. The only other thing we have on here is FEMA. They're updating their floodplain maps. I think they do it every 10 years. And they noticed in the paper, I think a couple of weeks ago, that there's a 90-day period where people can contest the floodplain maps if they don't like them. So that is active right now. The clerk posted on the bulletin board downstairs more information about how you can contest it. There's also information online about it. I just thought it was important enough to mention it in a meeting in case somebody hasn't heard or wants to know.
And I will tell you, I've also talked to Dave Mostrom.
Yeah.
And he said a lot of this information is over his head as well, but he was gonna look into it for us and make sure there was no red flags sitting out that anybody need to be concerned about.
Yeah, it's a countywide, they do it by the county, so it's not just Fabius, it's, the whole county. Thank you, Doug. And that's all I have for that, so public comment,
Dan, before you go to public comment, I
Yeah.
do have one more thing.
okay?
If you remember, we rezoned a couple of properties here a month or so ago, and we did get that information back from the planning commission and the county planning commission. They had a couple of questions about it, but one of them was the R1 was only a 2-acre parcel, and we're supposed to have 5, but the ordinance that we have been going through, we've actually changed that, so once that ordinance becomes renewed and changed, it won't be non-conforming anyway, but I didn't know whether you wanted to, I slipped my mind and I didn't bring the information, whether you wanted to vote on those, approval of those 2 changes, or wait till next month.
Yeah. Did you send us anything on those?
Didn't you give us that last month?
Pardon?
I thought you gave us the paperwork.
No,
last
that was for
No, I
the,
didn't see that.
Okay.
no.
I don't
I'm
recall.
confusing my meetings.
This has, I apologize, it slipped my mind, so.
Yeah, well,
We can
no
wait.
hurry, let's just take care of it next month.
But
All right, public comment. Oh, sure.
Mary McLean, a thorn in everybody's side lately. 2 things tonight. One, the Fairview Chamber of Commerce always does a fall color tour, and Fabius is really huge for it, because we've got so many things in our township that they do, like Corey Lake Orchard. Well, ours is in it again this year. It hasn't been for a couple of years. And the biggest reason I did it is because there's no education out there about alternative meats. I stood with my granddaughter at the fair in the market animals, and everybody rolled their nose like crazy at goats. And I got a little offended, I guess, because it's identical to beef, and I grew up on a dairy farm, and I guess I'm an expert on that, but at any rate, the kids are really getting beat up with their goats because nobody wants to eat goat meat. So, for Doug gets his nippers in a knot, I did go through the health department, and I do have a permit to serve meat that day because I want the community to have actual goat meat and be able to tell for themselves, because I started showing at the fair in 1970, so I know a lot of people around there, and they all rolled their nose. I was quite disappointed with people, so. At any rate, that's this Sunday. It's on the Three Rivers Chamber's website, but I'll leave this there, other than just, it's gonna be chilly, and I can make cake. That's about all that they would allow me to do, and they inspected the water and what have you. So there'll be tea and lemonade, all free, so that people get the opportunity to try it, and we don't raise a lot of them, but like I said, the kids really got beat up in the market classes, and I think that's kind of a shame, because the steers and the hogs are going really well. And the kids work hard on their goats too, but we do raise some organic goats, very few, because I can't get rid of them very easily. But I'll leave this on the table on the way out if anybody wants to see it. The other is my ongoing farm housing, which I've been to 2 or 3 attorneys, finally picked one, but he said I needed to let the board know that if there's any way I can rectify this, I would like to do that. Went to the planning commission. I spoke to Doug Hassinger. There hasn't been anything to appeal or anything yet, but we're scheduled for the 29th, which I'm sure everybody knows. But I think it's an appalling waste of money on my part and on the townships, because I do have farm housing. I am in the ag district. I am zoned ag. So that's all I have about that.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else for public comment? George?
Got a handout.
No, that's fine.
Thank you.
Now you lost me already.
Well, there's no box to stand on, so I'll hold this down. That's not my day. right, my name's George Sechrist. I live at 11376 Oak Ave over on Quarry Lake in Fabius Township. And I've got a little bit of an overview. This is about rental docks on Quarry Lake, so everybody has a topic. And my goal here is not to, we don't want to argue this or debate it here necessarily. The idea is to hear this to educate, so we're all in the same pan on what we're doing. So Quarry Lake is located primarily in Fabius Township, Michigan, while a small western edge resides in Newburgh Township, Michigan. Quarry Lake is a 680-acre all recreational lake consisting approximately of 220 private homes, 2 youth camps, 1 seasonal campground, and a public access with boat ramp consisting of 10 boat/trailer parking spots. Unfortunately, Quarry Lake has experienced a slow but steady growth of commercial boat docks for rent. Currently, there are approximately 171 commercial boat docks slips for rent, and most are rented out for the entire summer, the whole summer. In 2025, the lake saw a jump up with an additional of 24 commercial boat dock rentals. The result of these docks and the boats that come with them have caused a substantial amount of boat traffic, damage to the lake, and danger for the lake owners and the 2 youth camps. The 3 commercial entities that rent docks are Ted Crockett, which was formerly the Quarry Lake Marina, Hellmoose Happy Landing, which they are the new owners of Happy Landings. Happy Landings is not opened, but they're the ones who put 25 in, and Roberts Campground. For these reasons, we're asking the Fabius Township Board to help finding a solution to regulate the number of commercial boat docks similar to how Fabius Township Board did with the VRBO rentals. Nice way of kind of putting some guide rails on this. There's a packet of information here. I just wanted, you can go through it, but I just want to tell you what's in it. First is a petition signed by Quarry Lake owners concerned about the excess number of commercial boat docks. You'll see that here. We're still getting more. As this time of the season is kind of tough for us. The next is a copy of the Newburgh August minutes, where the Newburgh Township, where Happy Landings happens to be residing, failed to notify them and thus are in a breach of ordinance about not having any docks or marinas within Newburgh Township. So they're dealing with that there. So that's going to help us with that one. The next one is a letter from YMCA Camp Everhart, the executive director there, Denise, who is fantastic. Camp Everhart is a real gem for the lake. And I think Barb's going to read that, if you don't mind, Barb. It really goes to the crux of the situation of what we're having. The next, a couple of these, one of the things about camp, the concern is the trespassing and the boats. So as you can see, this is the boat island. This is midweek during camp session. When kids are on the island, you can see. There's another one here of the same island. That's a famous spot. And you can see there's 2 people there on the island, and I've circled where the no trespassing signs are. And then this is called a swim area marker. So there was in that. The next one is our public access with our 10 docks. So it's not like we're trying to keep everybody off the lake, but we have the boat access is like this, kind of self-regulate. How many people off lake kind of get on the lake? Once that fills up, they go to another lake. The bigger the lake, the more they have. The next one is Ted Crockett's. His property is basically his property consists of all boat docks. You can see that one. The next one is an aerial photo of the Happy Landings, where they had just single boat docks, but then they added this 24 boat dock ramp there. And then this next one is Roberts Campground, and they've basically taken their entire shoreline now and made it completely boat rental docks. So it has become a big business on Quarry Lake to have boat rental docks, apparently at $1,500 a crack. I don't think any of that money comes to anybody in this room, so or any of the taxpayers either. So it's become a nuisance, and I'll let Barb, if you don't mind, read that letter from Denise, because that kind of puts it all together. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Barbara Snell, 11038 Harbor Drive. I volunteered at camp this summer, so this is really an issue that's near and dear to my heart. This is from Denise Peters, the Executive Director. I'm writing to share some major concerns I have regarding the rental dock property and the related situations on Corey Lake. This past summer of 2025, we've been concerned with the amount of traffic and unexperienced, disrespectful, and reckless boaters that have gained access to Corey Lake due to rental dock property. The additional boats on the lake have compromised the safety of our campers on both and in the water. YMCA camp programs include water programs, water skiing, boats, canoes, kayaks, fishing, sailing, and swimming. We have over 300 campers a week, and I can verify that, that are able to build their skills and programs and team and learn drowning prevention strategies. Inexperienced and reckless boats have caused us multiple times to have to remove the campers from the water due to safety concerns and engage the sheriff department to help manage situations. Unfortunately, it's nearly impossible to have a sheriff to be on the lake every day. There's also a concern with boaters trespassing onto private camp property. We are a Michigan licensed camp that serves 4 to 17-year-olds, and there have been multiple occasions when non-resident boaters trespass onto the island property in Coops Tower. There have been occasions where boaters cross the designated swimming line where campers are swimming. This is a safety concern for campers. We have to remove campers from the water and move them to another activity. When boaters are asked to please remove themselves from the area, they have been vulgar and disrespectful. We are fortunate to have so many residents on Corey Lake support YMCA Camp Everhart, and we enjoy hearing that campers enjoy, thrive, and learn at camp. We are confident that the occasional disrespect and disregard for safety have not been the residents of Corey Lake. Thank you for listening. And in regards to the Roberts property, Roberts has 66 campsites, and they have over 80 rental slips. Thank you for listening.
Thanks, Barb. Everything that both of you, what you just read, it's in here, right?
Yes.
Okay. Public comment. Anybody else for public comment? No? All right, we'll move on to board comment. I would just say, well, somewhat recently, George and I have been exchanging emails on this issue, and I've included Doug in those, and on the issue with the docks on Corey Lake is what I'm referring to. And we're working on it. So I don't know where it's going to go, or, it seems like these things always take me longer than they should. But, yeah, we're going to stay on it until we get some kind of resolution. I just don't know what it's going to look like yet. All right. That's all I have. Take a motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion and support to adjourn. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed the same. Motion carries.
Because, I don't know why, because I don't get my own check.